Stay awake, for you do not know when the Son of Man will come. The Lord be with you and with your spirit. A reading from the letter of God. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. Jesus said to his disciples, "Be sure of this. If the master of the house had known the hour when the thief was coming, he would not have let his house be broken into. You also must be prepared, for at an hour you do not expect the Son of Man will come." Then Peter said, "Lord, is this parable meant for us or for everyone?" And the Lord replied, "Imprudent steward, whom the master will put in charge of his servants to distribute the food and allowance at the proper time. Blessed is that servant whom his master on arrival finds doing so. Truly, I say to you, he will put him in charge of all his property. But if that servant says to himself, 'My master is delayed in coming,' and begins to beat the men servants and the maid servants, to eat and drink and get drunk, then that servant's master will come on unexpected day and an unknown hour, and will punish the servant severely and assign him a place with the unfaithful. That servant who knew his master's will but did not make preparations or act in accordance with his will shall be beaten severely. And the servant who was ignorant of his master's will shall be beaten only lightly. Much will be required of the person entrusted with much, and still more will be demanded of the person entrusted with more." The Gospel of the Lord. The response is, yes, Peter. Yes, it applies to everyone. Those who have more responsibility and those who have less. And what is our responsibility? St. Paul describes in the conclusion of the first reading that we have to obey with the heart that model of doctrine which we were freed from and delivered from sin. What is this model of doctrine? We're speaking about our baptism. At baptism, we profess our faith. It's a configuration of the newly born by grace of God. We believe in God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit. We are Christians by our doctrine, salvific doctrine. And we have to enter into this new relationship through baptism. Baptism, then, is this model. And we have to enter the truth about our baptism. And according to St. Paul, in life, and it's a total grace, in life and death, we are slaves and we are servants. In Hebrew, the word is the same. Hebed, or in Greek, doulos, is the same word. And there is no choice. We're going to be slaves on one side, or we'll be slaves on the other side. Or we will be slaves of the enemy, the flesh, sin, and the world, or we will be free slaves, servants of God, that is, faithful and sincere children who want to offer all of their lives to God. And what is the way of this freedom in which we also are slaves? The response is the pure fiat of the Blessed Virgin Mary. The angel, when he announced the gospel to her I am the handmaid of the Lord. Let it be done to me according to thy word. And this is the path of our total freedom. And it would also be the path of St. Paul. He discovered also that this great freedom of being a servant of God. So in the majority of his letters, he always begins, I, Paul, before apostle, chosen one of God to announce the gospel. Paul, doulos tuos Christo. A slave without any rights, because I've given my life to the beloved. And this is the true life, totally offered to Jesus. The fruit of this offering is mission. That is, we want to serve Lord. Send me where you want. Send me where my community, my church needs to know more your love. And with this total freedom, into your freedom, we can also evangelize. With the hope of the gospel, we conclude with these words of our Mother Founders. The Lord calls us towards a new evangelization, a church that understands herself living in mission. The enemy is stealing the world and souls. And we, with the wisdom, the intrepidness, the power of the Holy Spirit, to go out to the entire world, a world hostile to Christ and his gospel, and proclaim there with the Christian life, coherent Christian life. A firm, radical decision that Christ is the Lord, then him is the only fulfillment of the human person. And so, dear sisters, brothers, responding today to the gift of the gospel, like Our Lady and St. Paul, we want to renounce our yes. Let it be done to me according to thy word. I am your servant. I am your servant. All for the heart of Jesus through the heart of Mary.